Hello and welcome back to the Flexline Media coverage of the Discmania Garden City Open 2023. This is round 2 back 9 coverage and it's brought to you by Discmania. My name's Ashton Clark and I'm joined in the booth by Jeremy Brokenshire.
It's good to be back for this back 9 coverage, and it's good to be back out at Hagley Park on this hot summer's day. 34 degrees. It's an absolute stunner.
Yep, look at that, Hagley Park looking beautiful as well. Heaps of spectators out there over the weekend, non-disc golfers as well, all biking and walking through the park, checking it out. Awesome spot for a tournament. What did you think of the tournament HQ, Jim?
Oh, the tournament HQ was fantastic with all of the local companies coming down, NZDSS, Vortica, Disc Shop, you name it. They were all there, they all had stores, they were all selling discs. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was great to see the vibes at the HQ. Really awesome weekend. Hole 10, we've got the big par 5, 271 metres and a wide open bomb off the tee. You do have OB left and right, but hopefully these lead card lads won't be finding that. Once you get down towards the basket, you've got a Mando left and right, and should be a pretty standard birdie for these lads, but let's see how they go.
First on the box for our back 9, we have Joe the Crusher Berry.
And I think that's his Halo Destroyer, and that is way down there.
Yep, I think you're right, and I think that's crushed. That's crazy.
So following that, we've got Ethan, probably throwing a Zeus, I would say.
Smooth, nice follow through out of Ethan. It looks like he's turned. No.
Yeah, he checks up and bounce. I think the right side of the fairway is where you want to be. Opens up that gap towards the basket a bit more. It's a bit scary for the righty backhand driver turning one towards that OB line. So you see most players kind of hugging this left side with the safe over stable disc.
Jay checking up close to the OB as well.
Bit of a cloud breaker over out of Connor, so kind of a flippier DD3, and as you can see, he's getting the full flight out of that. Dead centre.
Nowhere near the OB. It's a lovely drive out of Connor.
So here's the look from the right-hand side. I'd say probably the more favourable look from the fairway. Open up that gap, and this one's crushed. He'll be looking at it. He's probably jump putting to the basket from here. Yep. Great shot from Ethan. So over on this left side, you've really got to control your distance to get through that Mando gap.
Yeah, Jay kind of pinched off here, having to throw pretty tricky angle to get around that Mando tree with his Halo Destroyer.
Sneaking it around the corner in the headwind there. Kind of hard to push straight as long as you need to and then finish left. As you can see, Connor probably standing that up a little bit in the headwind.
Yeah, collecting under that second Mando tree. Joe's so far down the fairway that this should just be a stock hyzer for him. Right into position.
He's opted for the layup as well, not going for the green. I know he's definitely got the distance to get there from there, but it's a pretty safe looking shot.
Nice little zone up shot out of Jay. That's tidy for a windy up shot. Absolutely right under the bucket.
Based it. So Connor's managed to find a bit of trouble on a relatively open hole, but that's a beautiful upshot from the knee.
Especially with that low ceiling and an awkward stance as well. That's smooth. That's clean.
It's an interesting approach from Ethan. Lots of power. Checks up at the right distance though. Keeping it low out of that wind, I'm guessing. And
Joe jump putting his approach.
Love to see Joe running the basket for 3.
Man, that would be an insane eagle. It's not the longest par 5, but it's still got some angles to it.
Yeah, I know. I think it was actually old Johnny Ferrari got the 3 in practice, so shout out to that.
No way.
The boys tapping in their birdies, as you'd expect from the lead card on this hole.
Yeah, making hole 10 look pretty easy in the wind. Surprisingly coming in just under par at 4.85.
Oh, we star frame to get things started there. So hole 11, par 3, 95 metres, and the basket perched up on the little mound there. You're really just looking to throw a putter or a mid-range in the tailwind and put yourself somewhere on the hill.
Looks like we got a zone out of Joe. I don't know how he gets those things to fly so far, man. 95 meters isn't super far, but for a pretty overstable disc, well, I think it's respectable anyway.
So Ethan probably hoping to hit the hill there, but he's inside the circle. Looks like a buzz from Jay. Comes up short, but once again, not much danger off the tee, so should be able to take an easy par.
I wonder if we'll be seeing more layups today with this wind up. Yeah, probably definitely a layup coming out of Connor from collecting the Guardian tree. Oh, he's still quite far back.
Yeah, I'd say these holes on the raised sections are going to be playing a bit harder today for sure.
Yeah, just having to putt uphill with the wind coming through is it's definitely going to lift the putter up. It's going to make the putts a lot harder. Ethan might just be proving us wrong here. Proving us right.
Exactly what you were talking about there. Just playing with the height of the putter.
Yeah.
Good line, but tough to keep it at chain height.
And now he's got a tricky comeback for 3. Yes. So you're just taking your medicine, laying up there with the wind. May have saved him a stroke.
It's not a gimme from this distance either, but these boys won't be laying up from this close.
Good birdie out of Joe.
Joe stabs one in there. So if I'm not wrong, I think Joe finished the front 9 on a turkey, and he's just got himself the first 2 of the back 9. So he's really turned on the pace now. We'll see if these boys can keep up with him.
Moving on to hole 12, a little funny low ceiling skippy hole. 75 meters, par 3, basket parked on top of a little hill. Again, will be interesting to see how the green plays with the wind coming off that hill.
So Joe goes low with a funny little skippy something. Probably a wide rim driver trying to skip it up the hill there.
Definitely the most common play I saw on the weekend.
This one looks good. The hill really acts as a backstop, and if you do have enough speed to skip up, usually filter to about pin high, so there's not a lot to lose attacking this one.
Be interested to see how Ethan plays this hole, actually. He won't have the righty backhand skip up the hill, so maybe he'll go left of that Guardian tree.
He goes lefty flex. No, he's going low hyzer.
That's nice.
Yeah, probably a smart decision with the wind. Keeping it low to the ground.
Yeah, probably have a tailwind putt from there as well, so should be able to have a good stab at it.
Ooh, that's tough from Joe. It's a good putt from that far away on such a raised basket. His birdie streak is finally over.
So when you're on a bit of an incline here, Ashton, do you switch to a straddle stance, or do you do what Connor does and still keep the staggered stance?
I don't really have a set rule for that. It's more just how you're feeling. Sometimes it's too steep for a stagger, and I'll definitely go to the straddle. But if I can stagger stance, I'll stick with it.
Jay says stance doesn't matter. I'm going to make the putt anyway.
Yeah, whatever feels comfortable, I think.
Ethan with the birdie look. Oh no, I think he's got a bit of a right to left headwind for the putt, but he's close enough that it doesn't matter.
There we go. Makes one stick.
Joe rocking the sunbrella.
Yeah, it was pretty essential out there on the weekend. I know the heat was definitely affecting a lot of players out there. Hole 13, par 3. Got one of the longer par 3s coming in at 128. You've got a Mando right, which really stops you from attacking the basket down the right hand side, and these OB and hazard spots in the centre of the fairway. All these guys will just be ripping a full driver, trying to get down there and hopefully park it for the 2.
Yeah, I really like the placement of the Mando on this hole. It kind of just stops the hyzer bomb down the next hole's fairway, so I think it's a really well placed Mando.
So Jay just out driving the basket there. That's a cheeky 140. So Ethan's able to attack this one a lot more straight on than the righties. Gets a bit of turn on something, and I think that's the closest I saw anyone get. Well, from my cards anyway, I don't think anyone was that close. Nice wee follow flight.
This is why they're on lead card, because they can make birdies on this hole that I was playing for par.
So I think it was a crank SS out of Ethan, the flippy high-speed driver there, getting a bit of turn on it.
I'd love to see Joe throw this line. Distance line, Annie, nice angle panning out. Oh, it's a thing of beauty.
Yeah, so he's absolutely smashed that one.
And you thought Jay was long.
I know Joe loves throwing those wraiths on those big Anheuser distance lines. But tough to control the distance when you put that much on it.
Or tough to control the angle of the disc, like we see Connor here just fading out way too early. But we've seen this shot before, so...
Yeah, another approach from the knee. The last one was on the money.
2 for 2, baby.
Yeah, when you scramble like that, there's not much worries of being slightly off on the tee shot.
That's crushed out of Joe. It's probably one of the few holes that it has a favourable tailwind. Man, that is far.
Yeah, if that basket's 130, that's probably pushing into the mid 150s, I'd say.
Yeah, Joe just hit that tee shot so perfect. Angle, getting the wind under it, nose down. See you later.
Should have thrown a mid-range.
Yeah, or a putter. Good putt out of Ethan.
Ethan picks up another birdie. That's a really tough one to get, so he's putting together a nice wee start to his back nine.
Jay taking his time. It was a good par putt.
So Ethan's had a lot of spit outs and things this round, but he's really managing to kind of just hang on to the back of this group, not really leaking too much. Still taking the birdies when they come. Connor tidies up a par from a slightly wayward tee shot.
Ooh, that almost spat back out as well.
Joe taking a par for an absolute boom.
Moving on to hole 14, par 3, 110 metres. Really funny little hole. You can kind of elect to go over the trees on a righty backhand hyzer. You can throw a skip shot or a slide shot kind of under the trees, or I saw a few forehand or backhand rollers to try and get under this low tree line. So it'd be interesting to see how our lead card elects to play it.
That's a line I didn't see too much of, the lefty play. If he gets that through the trees there, the wind will be lifting him, which will probably help him get towards the basket. Jay's absolutely pured that one.
It's a nice line out of Jay, just keeping it low, keeping it hyzer, and then just playing the nice short grass skip.
Yeah, it's great height control. If you skip early like Joe has there, it's pretty hard to get it all the way to the green, so you really got to get through that line of trees before you hit the ground to get to the pin. And it's probably, I'd say about head high through there, so it's a really tight window.
Yeah, to keep it that low for that much distance is pretty impressive.
So we've got one in the circle and the rest of them looking at an upshot from similar range. Ethan just looking to slide a zone in there. Yep, he'll be happy with that. Connor could give this one a sneaky run, but it'd have to be a low spinner. There it is.
Ooh, limbs.
Clip the branch, so...
I think Joe will have a similar look. Oh, no, he's got the straddle stance, but he'll be running this for sure. Oh, and the wind says nope.
Yeah, that's a tough one to get a lot of power behind when you're in an awkward stance like that. So these inside circle, 7-8 meter putts in this wind become pretty difficult, and on a calm day these boys would probably be nailing them. So really shows the upshot game how important it is on this course. in this wind.
Nice birdie out of Jay. Great tee shot. Great height control, great angle control, and a really nice putt to finish it off. Surprising to see that this hole just coming in 0.19 over par. So although pretty tricky birdie to get, not such a hard par to get, not too many bogeys.
Yeah, I feel like it's a bit of a theme on this course. There's not too much danger, but getting those birdies is quite tough.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the aim of the game out here on this pop-up course at Hagley Park, was just don't bogey, basically, and you'd do pretty well. Easier said than done, obviously.
Yeah, Joe won't be happy with that one, but he played the drive really nicely. It's an unlucky putt. Hole 15, we've got a short little par 3, 89 metres. We've got an OB golf tee-off area, I think, in the middle, but that shouldn't come into play. One tree on the left there, which blocks the forehand line, and Jaden is going for that forehand line, so we'll see if he can make it past.
Nah, you just flex around it.
He's going for the low straight approach. Ends up a bit inside, but he'll have a look at the basket. So this is an Athena from Ethan, and he's absolutely squared that tree and luckily rolls back into safety.
Just as you were talking about no one going into that hazard area.
Yeah.
Ethan tempts it.
I think that's probably the only way you'll find it, from an unlucky roll off the tree.
It's a nice forehand out of Joe, just flexing it around that guardian tree, like I said.
Yeah, beautiful wee Firebird forehand, and the backhand approach from Connor, just a straight MD3. He's pretty lucky to get through there, I think. There was definitely maybe a bit of a grip lock, but I think he's inside the circle, so you got to take those chances when they come.
Definitely found the backhand play wasn't the percentage shot off the tee on this hole, but I saw it working out for a lot of people, and that's a great putt out of Jay. Another one.
Jay as well, a little bit inside off the drive, probably from what he was going for, but he's able to capitalise on being in the open.
Starting to get quite a bit of green on that scorecard, and perhaps pulling away from the pack a little bit here.
And Connor make the most of that sneaking through the trees he can. So he's cancelled out his bogey from the previous hole, still sitting in a good position.
So we'll want to make sure that one stays in, and it almost didn't. He will also card the birdie to keep within 2 of Jay. Ethan apologising for ruining the star frame. As I would expect. Moving on, hole 16, par 3, 109 metres. Bit of a funny hole, kind of, low ceiling again, or a really fine line for the right-hand backhand hyzer through the trees. Also saw a couple of forehand rollers work out, so...
Yeah, it's definitely not your standard righty hyzer that it looks like when you initially step up to it. You really want to put something out off the tee on quite a lot of hyzer and have it stand up as it works left, I think. Well, that was what worked for me anyway.
If you've got 120, 130 metres of power, you just throw a hyzer around this tree and hopefully go into a circle and,
That works as well.
But into a ripping headwind, that's it's a shot only a few select people can pull off. This is the more common line that you'll see people play, trying to play inside that fir tree and skip up into the green.
We got a roller look out at Ethan here.
As long as it stays away from the road, we'll be all good.
Intentional roller this time. If you haven't seen the round 1 coverage, go back and have a look at that to figure out what Jim's talking about. Smooth upshot out of Connor there. Looks like the wind lifting that one up a bit from Jay, but he's still nice and close.
Yeah, this lead card really having approach shots on lock. Great to see, and it explains why they're in the top 4 spots.
Yeah, going back through my rounds and kind of having a look where I took my bogey strokes, I think upshots were really the key for this course. There wasn't too much trouble you could get yourself into off the tee, so you're usually landing in an open area of grass somewhere. It's just putting yourself close enough to have those high percentage putts and take the birdies where you can.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. The wind definitely didn't help with putting on round 2, but I find the upshots were where strokes were gained or lost.
Yeah, if you're under the basket, the wind doesn't really matter, does it?
Exactly. A few cleanups for our lead card here. Hopefully we don't have any spit outs. Nah, we're safe.
Cool. Clean through that hole is a good result. Moving on to 17. This is my favourite hole on the course. 200 metres dead straight. We've got a mando tree on the left, as you can see there, keeping you down the middle of the tunnel, and an OB line following the trees all the way down to the basket on the right hand side. So there's a few different ways to attack it. You can just go full rip off the tee and then bail out left, or a couple of more slightly dialed back shots up the middle. But as long as you make that mando, you're looking at a pretty good score. Four on the day, you're kind of gaining strokes.
Yeah, definitely gaining strokes, with 17 coming in almost a half stroke over par. So yeah, walking away with your par on 17 is not a bad result. Joe,
like we mentioned in round 1, it was playing pretty hard, so there was a bit of a backup at this tee pad, and not a bad spot to sit and watch people throw in this beautiful looking hole. Connor maybe with a bit of a slip on the tee pad there. He's OB early and he doesn't manage to come back in bounds, I don't think. So slipping a little bit off his early pace from round 1, but not too much damage to the scorecard. Still sitting on 7 under. He's still right there in contention. Smooth one up the middle from Ethan.
Was that a buzz out of Ethan, electing to go mid off the tee?
I think it was. I actually really like that play. If you end up landing one straight in the centre, then you're sliding up that road for a little bit of extra distance.
Yeah, and going with the mid, perhaps providing a bit of extra control, as we see Connor unfortunately go OB again, I believe. It's going to be a rough hole for Connor, but hopefully he can do his best to get away with 1 or 2 over par.
Yeah, there are quite a few big numbers on this one. I think if you find yourself out of bounds early, you're almost feeling like you have to gain something back and go for another big one, but probably just pitching out into the middle. Not necessarily pitching out, but playing a safe shot just to chop off 80 metres or so might be the option.
Jay, with his Halo Destroyer, kind of showing us the bailout left line off the tee. Leaving him with a low forehand shot to approach the pin for hopefully a birdie.
So maybe a bit of an overcompensation there, trying to stay away from that OB again, but he's in the open now, so hopefully he can just tidy it up with a nice upshot, and it looks like he's done that. So he'll be looking forward to getting off this hole, but everyone was taking big numbers on this one, so he should be okay.
Oh, that was for birdie.
Good run for Jay there. That's a pretty rare birdie throughout the tournament, I think. Only a few people managing to get that one.
Ethan also chaining up for birdie after going buzz. Ouch.
Yeah, it's a big number from Connor. He won't be happy with that. He was really kind of maintaining where he was in that good position from round 1, but that'll definitely drop him back a wee bit.
Yeah, I really like the last 2 holes of this course, really adding some separation in. Moving on, hole 18, par 4, 198 metres. We have an OB area that's marked by those flags, as you can see on the centre of your screen, about 140 metres off the tee. If you can get into that area off the tee, you proceed to the drop zone. If you don't, you've got a bit of a luck shot, I guess, into the island green with this wind.
Never luck. All skill.
Speak for yourself.
Oh, I didn't make it, so there we go. Jay finds some trees off the tee. Joe going over the top. That's bold.
Surely he's going for the Seb line from round 1 where Seb put it within 1 centimetre of the OB line. Incredible.
Well, it looks like he wasn't going for full distance on that, so he might have just chopped it in half and he can throw the exact same shot again. That's a pretty smart play if that's what he's going for. Alright, Connor looking to bounce back from that 7. What's he got? Looks like his cloud breaker, so he's going for full distance. Unfortunately finding another tree. Can't seem to catch a break this round.
It's a bit like that sometimes. There's not that many trees on this course, but sometimes you just start to find tree after tree after tree.
Alright, looks like a wide rim disc, so he's probably going for the green from here. Yep. This is looking pretty good so far. Can it get back and bounce?
Fight.
Skip. Oh
shot.
Yeah, what a shot. Yeah, he'll be stoked with that after the big number, so hopefully he can bounce back with a birdie. Joe with another hyzer, as simple as you can make the hole. Chip into the green.
Just sneaking in.
I don't know if we can call the first one a chip, but you know.
I don't think anything Joe throws is a chip, really.
Oh, another nice looking approach. These boys really showing you how it's done so far, playing the hole to perfection. Now we just need Ethan to stick the island.
Aim of the game on 18 is to stick the island, and Ethan's got it nice and wide, and yep, he'll find it as well. So
yeah,
pretty
clinic
good
on how to play 18.
Yeah.
It's a great finishing hole. That really nervy shot coming into the gallery. Unlucky putt there, but you know what? 4's not a bad number to take on this one, with it playing at about 0.57 over par.
Really nice putt there out of Ethan. Make it to double digits on 10 under. Not a bad round from Ethan.
Yeah, it's a good finish. He's kept himself right up the front, close to those leaders, so keeps himself on lead card. Jay finishing with a par for a 13 under. He'll have the lead going into the final round, I believe.
Joe lining up the putt for birdie, I think. No, par. Well, we must have missed his first putt.
So Connor tapping in his par, finishing on a 4 under for the tournament for round 2 there. So after moving day, got a little bit of a shake up on the lead card. Connor dropping back a little bit from his hot pace in round 1, and Jay pushing out to a lead. Interesting, this tournament I found, Germ, a bit of a shake up from the normal New Zealand major leaderboard that you'd expect. What can you say about that?
Yeah, definitely seeing some players that we don't usually see in that top 8. Also good to see Maverick and Nate up there as well, some international players coming over from overseas.
Yeah, so we could have someone new picking up that awesome looking trophy. Thanks for joining us for round 2 coverage, and we'll hope to see you in the final round.